Good day, sir. We are the Group 1, and in this video, we are going to answer the assignment, which is the crankshaft deflection.
What is crankshaft deflection? The change in distance between crank webs measured during one rotation of the crankshaft is known as crankshaft deflection, and is an direct indications of the crankshaft loading condition. And as we all know that crankshaft is the main element of the motor mechanism, and it sums up the rotational motion of all cylinders and transmits it to the consumers, which in the case of marine engine systems can be a propeller or a generator. From a mechanical point of view, it has the higher load and stress factor of mobile parts of the engine. And the defects of the crankshaft are quite rare but very dangerous, because in case of a failure, it will take the engine out of service, and the repairing process is very expensive and time consuming. The most frequent defects are cracks, which can lead to crankshaft breakage with disastrous consequences from the engine. The cracks appears usually on the web and pin connection due to the phenomenon of fatigue that favored by the existence of the tension concentrators and the faulty bearings alignment. And the second is crankshaft deformation by bending or torsion caused by various accidents like connecting rod studs failure, high Pmax on some of the cylinders, engine overloads, crankshaft breakage, and bearing failures.
So the second question is, when do we do it? When do we conduct a crankshaft deflection? So measurement of the crankshaft deflection are commonly carried out during engine installation as well as during regular maintenance and troubleshooting procedures. The crankshaft deflection is monitored during the engine assembly to ensure it complies to the manufacturer's requirement and to spot any possible problems before the engine is put into service. And crankshaft deflection measurement may be performed as part of routine maintenance, such as engine overhauls or rebuilds, to check that the engine is functioning properly and that the crankshaft and other engine parts have not experienced from excessive wear or damage. Moreover, crankshaft deflection may be evaluated as part of the troubleshooting procedures to identify the problem's primary cause. If an engine shows problems like vibrations or lower power production. Generally, crankshaft deflection measurements are a crucial component of an engine maintenance and repair, since they ensure guarantee that the engine will run safely and effectively for the time span of its life. That's all.
Where we can do the crankshaft deflection. So, crankshaft deflection is an important issue in ship propulsion system, as it can cause vibration, wear, and even failure of the engine components. To ensure the proper operations and avoid these problems, crankshaft deflection needs to be measured and corrected if necessary by using dial indicator. We can do the crankshaft deflection at any particular area or place where the crankshaft is located. It can be at the main engine, auxiliary engine, gearbox, or any engine where you will do the crankshaft deflection. In what emergency situation should we apply the crankshaft deflection? The emergency situation that we can do the crankshaft deflection is when there is collision or grounding that results damage to the crankshaft.
So this is how to conduct the crankshaft deflection. So first, we will conduct toolbox meeting. So in toolbox meeting, it is included considering the safety uh, PPE and the safety to conduct the crankshaft deflection or our job. Then also it is in toolbox meeting, it is included the preparation on what the preparation for the tools, different tools to be used in the work, and also the designation of the job. And after toolbox meeting, we next step we should do is to read the manufacturer's manual, because there are some important data that should be found in the manufacturer's manual. And after reading, because reading the manufacturer manual will help us to make our job easier. And also after reading, we need to fill up the form, because those forms are very important in because it will serve as the supporting documents if there is a inspector or auditor will want to see those different documents. And also it will serve as our reference in the future if we will going to conduct again a crankshaft maintenance. So through that, we will have a reference from the past that this is the in this, for example, in this cylinder, there is has a problem, and that day also, and the deflection measurement. So taking those form is very important. And after reading the manufacturer's manual, then we will start to open the crankcase door. All crankcase doors should be open in order to have an access inside to the crankshaft. And also we need to open the test cap, because it is hard to turn the flywheel if the test cap is closed, because in order to remove the air inside the combustion chamber, in order to make easier to turn the flywheel, because we have a different position that should be get in order to conduct the crankshaft deflection. So then after that opening, we will get the special tools. It is an the deflection gauge, maybe, or deflection gauge. It should be put in between the crank wave. For example, we will going to get the deflection of the cylinder number 1. So we will put the deflection gauge in between the crank wave of the cylinder number 1. There is a hole, so we will put that in between and secured it, and it has a rope. We will hold the rope, and we will put the angle. We have different position of the piston in order to have the different deflection, to get the different deflection. Then in every position, we will take a record of those the deflection, the reading, the deflection in every 5 position. Then it will be repeated the process in each cylinder. So if we have 6 cylinder or 12 cylinder, so we will repeat the process. Then after that, having conducting getting the deflection of each cylinder, we need to look back and compare our reading to the allowed deflection of the manufacturer's manual. If it is not exceed the limit of the manufacturer, so we will replace the shell bearing because those deflection is caused by the damage of the shell bearing. So if for example the biggest deflection is on the cylinder number 3, so side by side we will replace those it of each shell bearing because in order to ensure that the deflection will be removed, will be get. So after removing or replacing the shell bearing, we will next step is we'll secure all tools personnel before uh, closing or putting back our crankcase door because maybe due to the large number of uh, many cylinder we have in crankcase door, we will forget that there is a personnel inside or tools, so it will very dangerous to our main engine and also to our the crew on board. So in order to avoid that, we will double check, secured everything before closing the practice door. Then keep the tools and uh, close the crankcase door and close the test cap and check and try the dry run the main engine and take a measurement if the main engine is performing at its high performance because to ensure that there is a no deflection in the crankshaft. So that is the procedure on how to do crankshaft deflection. So why do we have to do it? Why we need to conduct crankshaft deflection? So by doing crankshaft deflection, we can avoid further damages of the different parts of the the engine because due to the over deflection allowed by the manufacturer's manual, it will reduce the performance of the engine due to the sagging of the crankshaft because those sagging is caused by the damage of the shell bearing and through crankshaft deflection we can also know or on when to change or if if it is need to change our shell bearing and also it also permits a safe operation of our engine running continuously and also it will increase the lifespan of the engine. It will also it will also save the unplanned breakdown unplanned maintenance and it will save cost, labor, and also it will give more convenience to the crew and to the safety operations of the ship. That's all.